Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be telling you about that how to create a bit.ly clone URL shortener inside your Node.js and Express application, and we will be using the MySQL database in the back end to store all the information that we create. So basically this is the front end of the application that you can see on your screen. So this is built using Node.js, Express, MySQL database, and for showing this on the front end we are using EJS. So embedded JavaScript. So you can now see this is the headline here, which is bit.ly URL shortener. So you have gone to bit.ly website, guys. Is a very popular URL shortener. If you just type here bit.ly on Google, it's the most popular URL shortener which is there on the internet. So we will try to replicate the functionality of it, the basic functionality, to just shrink the long URL to a short URL. So this is the website. Let me show you the website here. Basically, if I refresh it, all the information that we are fetching from this database, we are showing it in the nice little bootstrap table. You can see there are 3 columns out there: the long URL, the full URL, and it is sharing to this short URL. So basically this is the address of the website zapac.com, and basically we have created a short URL. So if you click this short URL, you will be redirected to zapac.com. Similarly, from Coding Shiksha, you can see that we have gone to Coding Shiksha. So if similarly to Facebook, like this, similarly to Google, like this. So now if you want to create a new website, guys, new website link, you just need to plug the URL. Let's suppose I create cricinfo.com and click on convert. Now you will see that cricinfo will be created, the short URL will be created instantly, and it will be shown on the same page without any page refresh. You will now see. If you want to create it once more, this cricinfo, click convert. Now it will be see count value will be increased to 2. So it typically means that you have created the short URL twice, that's why. So basically it is showing the number of times that you have created the short link for this specific URL. So in this way, guys, you can do that. All this information is stored inside the database. If you see here, we have this URL shortener database, and we have this table which is URL, and we are storing all this information inside this nice little table here. It contains 4 columns out there. ID, which is the primary key of the table, it is a very unique column. Its value never changes, and this is a short URL that we are storing, guys. You can see this is a random string that we are generating. We are using a short little package, Node.js package, for generating this random values, unique values, which is called as short ID. Full URL, you can see full URL is stored right here, and this is a count value. So now let me show you the packages which are used for this tutorial, guys. So obviously we are using Express as our framework for building this application, guys. We will also be using short-id. Basically this is a package, guys, which is used to generate the short IDs, random IDs for the short URL. So you can see this is a package, 1245 weekly downloads. We will also be using Bootstrap in the browser side, just a CDN. And also, guys, we will be using this dependency which is called as MySQL. This is kind of a driver which connects our Apache MySQL database to our Node.js Express application. So you can see this is the exam control panel. I have downloaded it from the internet, and I am running this MySQL database on this particular port number. If you go to the admin section, you will see localhost php myadmin. So here you can create your new databases, new tables. And this is the driver, guys. You can see it's a very popular dependency which has got 9 lakh weekly downloads. So it is used by many developers whenever you want to integrate the MySQL database. And that's all, guys. And one other dependency we are using, guys, which is EJS. EJS is the actual dependency which is used to render all this information inside a table like structure. So it is also called as embedded JavaScript templates. So this is a full form of EJS, where you can embed dynamic JavaScript. Over 10 million weekly downloads are there, guys. It's a very popular library, similar to Handlebars, but I think EJS is little bit easy as compared to Handlebars, so that's why we are not using Handlebars in this specific tutorial. We are using EJS. So let's start building this application from scratch, guys. So if you're watching it for the very first time, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. For this tutorial, I have given all the source code in the description of this video. So let me also give the full source code in the live chat as well. So here you can even get the full source code of this URL shortener, guys, in the live chat. So I have given, let me pin this in the right at the top of the chat. So this is the URL shortener, guys. We will be building here bit.ly URL shortener clone. So let's start building this. So First of all, we will go to our React projects directory, and basically here I will create a new directory, which will be make a new directory bit.ly. I will cd into this, and npm init -y, this will create the package.json file, and then we will open this inside Visual Studio Code text editor. Guys, you can see that this is our package.json file which is there here. Now we need to install some packages. First is we will install Express, short id, and we will also install MySQL and EJS. So these are the 4 dependencies, guys, which is needed for this project. So just it is installing it. It will hardly take 5 to 10 seconds in order to install this. So in the meantime, we can create an index.js file here, and basically here we will start our Express server. So here we just need to require the Express dependency. We will make a simple Express app. So this app will be listening on port number 5000. So here we can, in the callback function, we can simply say that app is listening on, so here we can simply say app is listening on port 5000. So if you see, guys, let me see, let me once again install this. So this will hardly take 5 seconds, guys, so for installation. So it is installing these packages, which is Express, short id, and MySQL EJS. So inside package.json, guys, you can see all these 4 dependencies are being installed. So now just close this file, and right here, guys, we will make a simple GET request. So when we open the home page, basically the very first time we will say we need to set the that EJS engine. So now to set that engine, guys, we will use the set method, and here we will provide view engine, and in the second parameter we will provide EJS. So we are using EJS engine. And now to render out the template, guys, we will use the render method, and basically here you will provide the name of the template. So this will be, we will call this as home. You can even write here .ejs, but this can also work. And for storing the templates, guys, it is mandatory that you create this directory which is views, and inside this you will store your template which is home.ejs. So this can just have this HTML code, guys, bit.ly UI clone, or you can say bit.ly URL shortener, and that's it. So basically if you just put a heading here, hello world, and now we just need to start your Node.js application, nodemon index.js. So you can see app is listening on port 5000. So if I now open this app at localhost 5000, so you will see that, guys, hello world will be seen here, and now the application is working. So now, guys, the very first step in order to do this, guys, we need to connect it to a MySQL database. As I already told you, this special software will be required for this application, which is exam control panel, and you need to first of all download this package or software. So just go to Google here, and you will find out this about exam. Just write this. So you just need to install it. It is open source software available for all the operating system, that is Windows, Mac, Linux. Install it using the next instruction, and then you just need to start your Apache server and MySQL database. Go to the admin section, and basically here you need to create a new database. So just create a new database called as, let me call this as bit.ly. I will create that bit.ly database, and inside this we will have a URL table. It will contain exactly 4 columns. Click on go, and the first column will be the primary key. So this will be an integer, and the length will be 11. Next one will be the long URL. This will be varchar. Length will be 256 characters, or you can even say that full URL. And then we will have the short URL. This will again be a varchar and 256. And lastly, guys, we will have counts. So how many number of times you have created this bit link. So this will be again an integer, and the length will be 11. So just make the ID, guys, the primary key. So just make it auto increment. So it will be a primary key of the table. It will not, this value will not be repeated. So this will be primary key. So now simply create your table. Now table is created, guys. You can see this is a primary key, and this contains 4 columns out there. So our table is created, guys. So now we can simply connect to this table using our Node.js application. So right here what we will do is that inside this we will need to get the package. So we will simply say MySQL. We need to require it, the MySQL dependency. So right here guys, we need to connect it to the database. So connection to database. So basically here we can declare a variable which is const db MySQL create connection. So MySQL create connection, and basically guys this takes the object. First option it's take is the local host, whatever host is there, and user is root user, default user, password is empty, and the database name it take as, so database name is in this case is bit.ly, and after that we will connect it to the we have the connect method, so we will connect it, and basically if any sort of error take place, so here we can simply say if any sort of error take place, in this case we can simply say that console log that error connecting to database. So simply we will say like this, so error is there inside connection to database. So after this we can simply return from the application, that's it. And if the connection is successful, then we can simply say that connection to database is successful. So please hit the like button guys, subscribe the channel as well if you're watching it for the very first time. So now if you reload the application, basically, so now you can see connection to database is successful. So now our database connection is successful guys. So now what we will do guys, we will simply inside this you will make this a simple form. Basically for doing this we also need to include the bootstrap for the UI interface. So we will go to our Google and basically we will grab the bootstrap CDN. So this will be required, so simply you will need the CDN part here. So just copy this and right here after the title paste it, and right here guys we will now create this simple form where we can create our bit.ly URL shortener. So basically we will have a container class of bootstrap, and in the h2 tag we will simply say bit.ly URL shortener clone, that's it. And inside a simple paragraph basically we will give the description about the application, convert long URL to short URL with single click, just a short little description. So after this guys we will have a simple form. Basically this form will perform a simple post request to this route that we will mention here, which is /short URL, and the method here will be post. So method will be post here. So inside this guys we will have a simple form group input field. We need to attach a form control class to it also. These are all bootstrap classes, which is form group and form control. This is input type text, and here you will be giving the type parameter. This will be the URL, so that's just need to give it a URL. So validation will be automatically done, so it should be required, and placeholder here we will say enter long URL, like this. So if you refresh your application guys, go to your link here, which is this one, you will now see bit.ly URL shortener clone, and basically it contains this input field out there, bootstrap. And after that we simply need a simple button guide to submit this form, and this is very easy. So guys we also need to give it a name parameter so that we can get it inside the express. So just give it a name parameter as well, full URL, and then guys we will have a simple button. So this button will say that shorten URL, like this. So this button will be, so we will be giving a class to it of form control, like this. This will be an input element, not a button, so just make it an input element. So basically just make it, and the value will be simply shorten URL, that's it. So that's all guys which is needed for this. So this input type will be submit, So now guys, just if you refresh it, you will see a simple shortened URL. So basically guys, I have given the styling. Someone has subscribed. Thank you for the subscription. Uttam Singh has subscribed to the channel. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. So inside this my blog post guys, I have given the default CSS styling for this project. So I don't want to waste time in writing the CSS. So just simply copy this, and here you need to simply create a public folder in the root directory. Just create this. Inside this public folder, just create a styles folder, and inside the styles folder you just need to give home.css, and simply you need to paste these stylings here like this. So now to make this static directory guys inside Express, what we can do is that we can say app.use, and then we can say that express.static and URL, sorry. So basically you just need to make this public directory as static. So here you just need to give it a full path here. So we will give the full path here, directory name, which is root directory, and this is a public directory. So now that this directory becomes the static directory here. So now we can include this CSS file inside our this file here. So what we can say is that we can simply say link relative, and inside this we can include this file very easily. So right here at the very top we can say /styles/home.css. that's it. So if you apply this styling guys, if you refresh your application, now you will now see, let me see, styles, because its mem type is not a supported home.css. Styles. So what you can do is that simply copy paste the CSS guys in the root directory here itself. So I think there is some kind of error taking place, so I don't want to waste time. So just make a style tag here and simply copy paste this styling and just refresh it. Now your styling is done. Now you can now see this is the input field is perfectly aligned here. It is also looking good in mobile devices, so you can see that. So now guys, our interface is almost complete here. So now we need to simply, if I write this URL, if I click this button, I need to make a post request to this route here, which is called as short URL. So now we just need to go to our Node.js Express backend here inside index.js. So right here, just make a post request. So just make a post request, which is short URL request response. And for doing this guys, we also need to first of all get the body parser middleware. So basically we need to set this body parser middleware with this line, which is app.use and express.url encoded, and here we need to pass extended to false. So basically this line is very much necessary because we are working with forms here. We are sending the form data. You can see we have this form data. We are sending it to the EJS, sorry, Express app. That's why we are written this middleware function. This is necessary. So after this guys, we also need to include the short ID package. So this short ID package will be required for generating random strings. So just import this short ID package right here at the very top. So right here guys, first of all, inside this post request, we need to get the full URL which is entered by the user. So we can get this inside our full URL variable. We can do this using request.body followed by the name parameter that you have given. So this name parameter is very much required guys. We have given this name parameter, so this needs to be same here. So right here, request.body.full URL. So if you just console log it, so if you go to your application, simply type any sort of URL, click, and it is saying cannot post short URL. Let me see why it is doing that. Let me refresh the application guys. So now you can see in the console, you will see google.com is printed out, https google.com. So we are now sending this data successfully from the HTML form to the Express application. So after this we got guys, we will compare it inside a if condition, that if full URL is not defined, in that case we need to return. We will send a 404 status to the user that the URL is not defined. And now guys, we will make a simple query to send this data to the database, to the table. So for doing this, we have this DB variable that we created right here at the very top. This is a DB variable. This contains also this query method, guys. And basically here we need to insert, or first of all select the data. So here we will say select star from the table name. So in this case our table name is URL. If you check here, if I show my table name is URL, you will see we have created this table name which is URL. So here we will be using this clause, guys, which is where, which is the clause in MySQL syntax. So here we will be putting the column name which is called as full URL. So if you see, guys, we have this column name called as full URL. Currently it is empty, no information is there, so it will be returning false. So just write this query first of all. Full URL is equal to question mark, put a comma, and then the information that you need to insert in place of this question mark. So here we will be inserting full URL like this. So here either error can be returned to us or result. So this will be an arrow function. So just understand clearly, guys, the syntax of this. So basically now if we will compare it, basically if any sort of error take place, so in this case what we will say, we will console log it. So this is error, sorry. We will console log the error, and basically we will return response.send status. So this error basically means that if any sort of error take place in executing this query, in that case this error will be returned as a 404. So basically this, we are just selecting the data from this table. We are comparing this full URL to the past URL by the user. So if this URL already exists in that table, then we will not be creating a short URL. This is meant by this statement. If there is no data in the table, if the URL is completely unique, if the URL is completely new, then we need to insert it. So now inside this, we will say another if condition, if results.length.0. This is exactly proves my point, guys. It's if no result is returned from the query, if the length is 0, so in that case we need to insert the short URL. So now we need to create the short ID package, and there is a method out there, generate, which will actually create automatically random characters. So with the help of this you will create your short URL. So we will create a URL object here. This contains a full URL which is equal to the request.body.full URL. And then we will create the second property inside this object which is called as a short URL. This is equal to the short string which is created, guys, which is with the help of this package which is short ID. And lastly, guys, the counts value which is equal to 1. Basically we have created this initial value will be 1 here like this. That's it. So whenever you create this database, guys, this is not mandatory, but just change this value here, counts here, just click on change, and you will provide a default value. So there is this as defined value, so there is a default value you can give here. So default value will be 0, so whenever it doesn't create it like this. So after now that, guys, we need to insert this object inside the table. So it's very easy, we can simply use again this query parameter. And now this will be the insert query. So insert simply means that insert something to the table. So insert into followed by a table name which is URL inside this URL. And here we will use the set clause, set question mark. And here we need to pass the object, whichever object we need to insert. So this is the syntax, guys, inside MySQL. You see insert into the table name, which in this case is URL, and here we are using the clause which is set in this case. Here we have used where and question mark, and inside this question mark we are inserting this object. So now again any error and result will be returned to us. result, you will call this results. So this will be an arrow function. Basically, if any sort of error take place, we can simply say error in inserting data, and basically we can return from this function. That's it. And after this, guys, if no error take place, now we can simply check. Basically, now let me check here. Basically, if I refresh it, click shorten URL, and now if I check my database, click on browse, go to my table. Sorry, it was this. If I refresh my table, guys, nothing has been created. Let me see why it has. Insert into URL. This is the table name. Set question mark the URL object. If results is empty, short ID generate. So let me just refresh it, guys. You need to refresh it every time, because after a long time is passed, you need to manually refresh it. Sometimes it freezes, so that's why I think it was taken some time. Refresh it now, and now if you see, a entry has been created. You will see google.com, and this is your short URL. Counts value is 1. If I zoom in, you will now see this is the entry which is created, guys. You can see if I create another entry, Facebook, if I refresh it, now the Facebook will be created. You will see that short URL, full URL, count here. So you can see that, guys, if I create google.com for the second time, let's suppose I create it for the second time, so this value will be increased. It will not be, the new record will not be updated, only this count value. So in this case, guys, you can see what happened right here. This duplicate value has been created. So 2 times we have created short URL for google.com. So Bitly, if you closely look at Bitly doesn't allow you to create multiple short URLs for a single URL. So basically, if you want to create a short URL for a single URL, basically it increases the count value. So we need to also do the same thing. We only need to increase the count value. For doing this, what we need to do is that we need to write is another condition here for this. So this condition basically will be, as you can see here, this is the if condition here. If the results is equal, if the result dot length is equal to 0, in that case we will create this URL. If the result length is not equal to 0, in that case we also need to do something. So for that we will write a if else condition like this. So now we will write the else condition, guys. So here we simply need to first of all get the short URL here, short, by using results 0 dot short URL. This is a column name, and also we can get the counts value. So this will be equal to results 0 counts value. So this is coming, this results is coming, guys. You can see this is the results which is coming here, and we are accessing the first element in the results. So we are using this square bracket which is 0, and then followed by the property name which is a table column name. So after getting these two properties, guys, we will just need to update it. So db.query, and this time we will be using the update syntax, guys. Update inside MySQL. So we need to update this table, and we need to set the column name. So the column name will be counts. So here we just need to increase its value by 1. So counts basically will be equal to counts. So counts will be equal to, guys, just put a question mark, and here you also need to say where the short URL is equal to question mark. like this. You just need to understand the syntax, guys. It's a little bit complicated, but still it is very easy. Update followed by the table name, which is in this case is URL. This is a set syntax, so whichever property we need to update, and where the short URL is equal to, and put a comma here, and here you need to pass the values, whichever values that you need to pass here. So we need to increment this value of counts, which is counts plus 1 plus 1, that's it. So we have stored this inside this variable, guys. You will calculate it. You can see counts plus 1, and then you need to put a comma. This is because this square brackets is coming, guys, because we are passing multiple values, so that's why the square brackets is coming. So put a comma, and the next value is the actual short, like this, short, that's it. And now again, if any sort of error and results will be returned to us, so simply now, so here first of all we will have a if condition. Basically, if any sort of error take place, we can simply console log that error in updating the table. So if no error take place, then we can simply return. If no error take place, then also in this case, let me show you first of all if it is working or not. Let me just delete all the records here. Basically, let me select all these records and click on the delete button. Just delete all these records. So now if you see, let me refresh the application first of all. Let me also delete this record. So there will be no records available, guys. You can see our table is empty. So now if I insert a record here, google.com, our URL will be created. You will see counts value is 1. If I try to create some other value, which is Facebook, it will be created once again. If you see, Facebook is also created. And now let's suppose I want to create Google for the second time. In that case, we just need to update this value. So let me again change it to Google, shorten URL, and now if you see, so again you can see that, guys, Google entry has been, I think, guys, this is, we need to refresh it. So now let me delete this entries here, delete this entry. So now you can see only Google, Facebook is present here, and let me again put Google, shorten URL, and click browse. Again Google has been created. Let me see, guys, why it is doing this. DB query update URL set counts is equal to where short URL is equal to. If results dot length is equal to 0, where full URL is equal to, so here we are passing it. So basically here we are comparing it. So if you're watching it for the very first time, guys, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well, and we are building this. So basically let me see why it is not updating this value. Insert into URL, this is results here. This is the results. So just make it as response, guys, because this will be conflicting to this one. So that's why you just need to change it. So just make it as response like this. And here in the else scenario, you will see that we are updating the table. and also here you need to change it to response like this. So we are setting the counts value here like this. You can see. Let me now refresh it and look here. Let me refresh the application here. Basically, this is the application. Let me delete this value here. So you can see Google and Facebook is present only a single time. So this, let me again do it. Google, shorten URL. I think some kind of a typo mistake is happening, guys. So what I will do is that I will simply copy paste this whole route here, which is for the post route, just to save some time. So just paste it this full route, guys. So I think in live coding sometimes error can take place, so simply paste it. So I will just delete this get links function here from it right here. So now if you execute here, guys, if you start your Node.js server once again, so basically here if I so now you can see Google and Facebook is only present for a single time, and if I try to execute Google for the second time, and now what will happen now, you can see count value will increase. So count is equal to 2. So this new record hasn't been created. So if a existing URL is present in the table, it will not be created for the second time. So if I change it, let's suppose I change it to Facebook once again, and now Facebook value will change, count will change to 2. So this is the exact behavior that I wanted. So if you now put a unique URL, let's suppose I put here zapac.com, and now the record will be created. You will now see new record will be created for the first time. Now guys, we need to display this data in the table. So whenever we refresh the page here, we need to display this data in the bootstrap table. So what we can do is that inside our get request, we will make a simple function here which is called as get links, and here we will pass request response. So right here we will make this function which will be getting all the information which is request response will be passed to the as a parameters. So right here we will make a simple db.query, guys. So here we will select the data. This time we will select the data. So select star and followed by the table name which is URL. So this time the error and the response will be returned here. Basically here we will check if any sort of error take place, then we will simply console log the error and we will return from this function. If no error take place, guys, then we will simply, what we will say is that we will simply display this data in the home.ejs file. So we need to say response.render home file, and we need to send this data as an object. So what we can do is that we can simply send out results to be results. That's it. So we are sending this complete array of objects to this file which is home.ejs. This is a way by which you can send the data from Express application to the EJS file. So right here after this form, guys, we need to print this data. So this is a syntax in order to print dynamic data, guys, inside EJS. This angular bracket percentage sign, and then for looping through this array, guys, we will use the for each loop. The syntax is very much easy. For each, this is the syntax here. So I will copy this syntax. So inside this file, simply paste this syntax. Array this time will be results. So here we will simply say put a question mark. But before that, we will have a simple bootstrap. We will need to wrap all this in a bootstrap table. So these are the bootstrap table classes. Table border, table head. Inside this we will have a 3 table headings which will be full URL, and then we will have the second table heading which will be short URL. Then we will have the count value. So that's it guys. So after this, inside the table body, so basically we will wrap all this inside a if condition, that if result exists then only execute this. Like this, we will wrap all this table. Sorry, this will be a table tag. Sorry, this will be a table tag, and wrap all this like this. This is the wrap. You can do this like this guys. Just do this. This is a syntax of EJS guys. So like this. So right here inside this guys, now we will be using the for each loop here. Basically this will be results. Sorry, here we are passing here. If you see closely, we are passing here results. So this is a results property. So this needs to be results. It needs to be same. Results for each result, and we just need to wrap this all this like this. And also just do it like this. This is a syntax guys. So you need to wrap all the JavaScript by these tags. So right here you will make our table row guys. So inside this table data we will print out the variable. Now to print out variables inside EJS guys, you need to put a equal sign as well right here, and then you will say result dot followed by the column name this time, which will be full URL, and right here. So if you put this guys here, if you refresh it now, you will now see google.com, facebook.com, zapac.com. If you put a new URL, let's suppose cricinfo, nothing will happen. But if you refresh the page, cricinfo will also be there. And there is a syntax out there guys inside MySQL if you want to show the newly created record first. So what we can do is that inside this query we can make a slight adjustment here. Basically select from this one, we will add a condition which is order by the ID parameter, ID column in the descending order. So just add this little query here. So now you can see the records will be shown from bottom to top. You can now see if you add a new record here, let's suppose https coding.shiksha.com, click shorten, and if you refresh here, you will now see coding Shiksha will be shown. So now you need to also show my shorten URL guys. So it's very simple. If you see, simply we will say the shorten URL, which is result.shorten short URL, and also basically we will also print out the counts variable. So that's it. If you refresh it, now you can see 1 1 1 2 2. So all these values are printed guys. You can see that. So now if you insert it, we also need to update this. So what we can do, we can simply go to index.js. We can call this function. So you can see we have wrapped all this code inside a function which is get links. So right here, whenever we do this, we just need to inside this function here. Basically, after this, we just need to call. If I closely look here, what is, yeah, after this we just need to call get links here. Just call this, pass request response, that's it. And also here get links request response, that's it. That's it guys. So if you now refresh it, if you create a new URL, let's suppose google.com, so basically it will not create a new URL, it will update this value. So now you can see 4, it is updated like this. If I create a brand new URL, let's suppose procodestore.com, click on shorten URL, now you can see procodestore.com shorten URL. And now you need to make it clickable guys, so that we can click on this URL to go to the URL which is the actual application. So for doing this, we need to make a simple route here. Basically here inside our home route, we need to make a simple route here. Basically, whenever we need to go to that URL, we need to redirect the user to the actual full URL. So app.get, so we will be passing this short URL. So inside this, you need to put a colon sign here. This is, we are passing dynamic parameters to it, request response, and basically here we will now be saying db.query. We will query it, we will select the data, select star from URL, the table name which is, and where the condition will be the short URL is equal to question mark, and here you will put your request dot params dot short URL. That's it. In this way, guys, you can put send some dynamic information with the URL, and we can get that information using colon followed by the variable name. So here we are fetching this information. So again, if any sort of error take place, if any sort of error and results. So here we will say if any sort of error take place, then we can simply console log error, and then we can simply send a status which is called as 404. That's it, to the user. We can send a status, sorry, return response.send status 404. And if no error has been taken place, guys, we will just compare it. If results.length is equal to 0, in that case we just need to render out error page. Basically it significantly means that no short URL does exist for this. So for this you need to create an error page. In the else scenario, if short ID does exist, if the URL does exist, in that case we will be redirecting it to the long URL. So here we will say results URL dot full URL. That's it. So this is your URL, guys. You can now see. Basically now what will happen now, if you put here, if I copy this URL to the slash here, and this should redirect me to this full URL procodestore.com. If you see failed to look view error in views directory, failed to look view error in views directory. Let me see. Just create this error file, guys, which is error EJS. Basically it's a very simple 404 page. Basically we will show this page to the user whenever there is some kind of error happens. Simply you need to paste this code here. So you will see URL shortener, the URL you entered doesn't exist, visit home page. So it should work. So why it is saying that it doesn't exist? Sorry, this needs to be shorten URL, and yeah, I think, sorry, shorten. Let me see, guys, inside index.js 3000 or 5. Inside this request, guys, if you see, guys, shorten URL, we have created this. This is the short URL. Length is equal to 0. So what I need to do, guys, let me see. So put a slash. So URL shortener, the URL you entered doesn't exist. Let me see, guys, just wait. Let me browse it. You will see this is a short URL it has created. Just wait guys, I'm just finding out the problem here. So basically it's a get request short URL. The table name should be URL. So put that bracket on. Short URL request response. Short URL. Just put these brackets here like this. Sorry. Is equal to question mark. And then we are getting it using request.params.short URL and then error results. If results dot length let me just delete all these records for now guys and start from scratch, and let me delete this. So there is no records out there, and if I can see record is created, and if I try to go to that record, so now you can see obviously it was just a problem. So now you can see it is perfectly working guys. Whenever you create a second URL, you can see Facebook is created. So now if you put this at the end of this URL, facebook.com. So now you just need to make it clickable guys right here in the table itself, so that when you click it, it will redirect to the long URL. So now to making it, it's very easy. Just go to your home.ejs file, and right here basically inside this td tag, so make just this tag as clickable. So we will wrap this inside the anchor tag. So just wrap this inside the anchor tag. So this will open inside a new window. So we will make a target to blank, and the source will be equal to guys, basically the source href will be equal to sorry, the href will be equal to result dot short URL, and the text will be equal to this one. That's it. This is all that you need to do. So it will redirect the user to short URL. If you refresh it, now you can see it is clickable. If you go to basically it is saying let me see, sorry, we also need to put a slash as well guys. So put a slash here like this. Refresh it. I think there is some kind of problem here, so you just need to put a slash here. So right here, so we are embedding a variable guys, so that's why we need to also wrap this like this. So just put this as this this will be result dot short URL. That's it. Basically this is a variable, so inside EJS you need to wrap variables in this syntax here. So just put a slash symbol here just before that. I think this will come right here. Sorry, this one, slash, and then put here your result dot short URL and close it. So that's it. I think this is the way. Short URL. So if you just refresh your application now, it is saying invalid. It is missing this. Let me paste it guys. So a little bit complicated, so let me paste this. So this is, you can see it will go to this URL, which is result.short URL. So we are just embedding it dynamically here to this anchor tag. So that's it. If you refresh it, now it is clickable. If I click Facebook, it will go to facebook.com. This is google.com. If I again put it Google, it will update this count value. If I put here Zapak, it will go to zapak.com. If I put here coding Shiksha, it will create this short link and it will go to codingsiksha.com and click info. So this is a very nice little bitly clone kind of application we have developed, guys, where you can create a short URLs for long URLs like this. So procodestore.com. You can just copy this link address and share it with anyone. So this is the short URL, it has created it. You can now see. So you can take any URL, big URL example like this. Just go to Google and let's suppose you search for your article Firebase phone authentication. So in Android, so it can work with any URL. It is not related to only this one. Copy link address and let me paste this very big URL like this. So this is a very big URL. You can see it is now shortened it to this one. If you click it, it will go to this URL. You can now see. Basically, this is a URL. So it can work with any URL, top level domains, subdomains, or sub URLs like this. So this is a complete application, guys. Please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well if you're watching it for the very first time. So I am seeing that people are not liking the content, only 8 likes are there. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel and increase the likes to 20 likes. The target like stream will be 20 likes. So please hit the like button, subscribe the channel, and if you have any sort of doubt related to this application, you can ask in the comment section. And also tell me where are you watching it this live stream from. I am from India making it. So where are you watching from? And if you like this video or not. And how is the quality of the live stream? Is the mic working perfect or not? Is the audio is also good or not? Tell me in the comment section, is the audio and video quality nice or not if the live stream. So you can even join my Facebook group, guys, of this official, sorry, for WhatsApp group. I have the WhatsApp group I have created. You can join that Facebook WhatsApp group. Basically, you can join this if you're watching it for the very first time. So let me share the link of that WhatsApp group, guys. So let me copy the link here and paste it inside the live chat so that you can join it. So if you're watching it for the very first time, so this is a link here, let me paste it. So I have given this link, guys. You will now see this is a link here. You can join this link. This is the WhatsApp group link of Coding Shiksha. So you can join this link to receive notifications of the live streams. So whenever I go live, I will put a nice little video on this. So you can come live to watch the videos. So YouTube doesn't send the notifications. I know people complained about it. So you can join this WhatsApp group and basically you can get the notifications and also ask the doubt as well. So basically, if you have any sort of doubt related to this application, guys, you can ask in the comment section. I will definitely try to reply to all your questions if you have any sort of questions. So if you're watching it for the very first time, guys, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. If you're watching it for the very first time, I'm seeing that people are not liking the content, so please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. So our subscriber goal is, you can see, 103 subscribers. So increase the subscriber goal to 120 subscribers at the end of this live stream. So if you're watching it for the very first time. So if you're watching it for the very first time, guys, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. This is a programming channel. I make daily live streams. So if you're interested in programming, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel. Also join the Facebook group. I have given the link in the live chat, so you can join the Facebook group here. If in order to ask any sort of questions, and if you have any sort of problem related to programming, you can ask the Facebook group. The link is given in the live chat, so if you're interested, you can join the Facebook group as well.